Conflict management. Conflict is a disagreement about something that matters to at least two parties. Conflict happens all day, every day. How we handle it makes all the difference. When we handle it well, it helps us identify and solve problems and build high-performing teams and organizations. When we handle it poorly, it can harm relationships, teams, organizations, and even entire nations. Here are a few things to keep in mind about conflict. Conflict is more than just a disagreement. It's a situation in which one or both parties perceive a threat, whether the threat is real or not. Conflicts continue to fester when ignored. Because conflicts involve perceived threats to our well-being and survival, they stay with us until we face and manage them. We respond to conflicts based on our perception of the situation, not necessarily to an objective review of the facts. Each of us makes meaning out of events differently. If we all saw things through the same lens, there would be no conflict. Conflicts can trigger strong emotions. If we aren't comfortable with our emotions or able to manage them in times of stress, we may try very hard to avoid conflict. Conflicts are an opportunity for growth. They don't feel like they are, but they are. When we're able to manage conflict in a relationship, it builds trust. We can feel more secure knowing our relationship can survive challenges and disagreements. We can ensure that the process of managing conflict is as positive as possible by sticking to the following guidelines. Look for points of agreement. In most conflicts, there are mutually agreed upon elements. For instance, we agree that we need to attract and retain the best people. We just don't agree on the best way to do that. Listen for what is felt as well as said. There are two levels of listening. Content is what is being said. Process is what is meant by what is being said. Listen for process. And remember, when we listen to others, it makes it easier for them to listen to us. Make resolution the priority rather than winning or being right. Our first priority should be maintaining and strengthening the relationship rather than winning the argument. We can ask ourselves, how do I know I'm right and they're wrong? Stay in the moment and focus on the present. Rather than looking back, focus on what you can do in the here and now to solve the problem. And pick the hills you're willing to die on. Conflicts can wear us out. Consider whether the issue is really worthy of your time and energy. If it's not, let it go. Be willing to forgive. Resolving conflict is impossible if we're unwilling or unable to forgive others. And forgiveness is for the forgiver. Holding a grudge is like drinking poison and thinking the other person will die. Know when to let something go. If we can't come to an agreement, we can agree to disagree. It takes two people to keep an argument going. If a conflict is going nowhere, we can choose to disengage and move on. Learn to ask better questions. The way we ask questions makes all the difference. Shoot for questions that don't make others wrong, but open up the scope of everyone's thinking. An example might be, if we weren't already doing it this way, where might we start? Identifying the ideal solution. This is different than compromising. It's about staying with the process long enough to come up with the very best path forward based on your options. I invite you to try a few of these strategies. I think you'll see that they will help you get unstuck and lead to enhanced working relationships, which should lead to more easily navigating troubled waters. Thanks for watching.